Okay, so this is Clay with the Clay tablet. I'm going to really try to dig down into games and talk about them. Because to me, it seems like a lot of these sports shows, they just, especially Saturday, all the college stuff, by the time you get to Monday, they gloss over it. So that's what I mean. I mean, like Saturday, it's almost like it never happened, and they don't really talk about the games in depth or do any of that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna try and do that. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how long they are. We'll do Texas OU. So OU won, obviously. We can. I should have had this done already. Okay. So is that? Yeah, I need to pull that in. Okay. So yeah. Um. Yeah, I'm gonna try and take notes on games. So you just go back to first quarter because you got to remember the things that happened, like especially early in the game. That when you're talking about a close game, it has effect. I mean, there's just no way around it. And sometimes by the time you get to the fourth quarter, you've already forgotten some big moments, especially in the first half, and things that may not show up necessarily in the stat sheet that you need to talk about. So, oh, you got the ball. They went like 3 and out. They had a bunch of penalties. They had to punt. It was like 3 and 30. And then remember, Texas got the ball, and boom, it was like I think it was the first, if not the first, their second play, running play, the guy fumbles it. So then, bam, there you go. OU gets a field goal out of it. I think they moved the ball pretty good. Uh, got a big chunk play, but then Texas defense kind of bowed their back. Whack. Oh yeah, see, and this is like I want you gotta like talk about this stuff because sometimes, because this is why I think Ellinger's trash. I think he's trash. They need to move on from him. If they don't want to, then they need to move on from this coach because this guy, he never beats OU. He loses to TCU all the time. He's lost to Baylor before. He's come, like maybe last year. I think maybe they beat Baylor by like 3 points or something. Like Baylor had him. Maybe he gets the best of Oklahoma State. But I mean, when you're losing games to, and he should have lost this year to Tech. I mean, so if you're gonna lose to Iowa State and Kansas, and I mean, it's just like, who are you beating? I mean, legitimately, like, who are you beating then? And like last year, they came out, they played LSU tough, who ended up winning the national championship, but then you turn around and you lose to, it just doesn't make any sense. I mean, you got to figure out a way to get these guys. So I'm not real like hung up on. Well, for sure not Ellinger. I mean, they need to move away from him. I know that much. And as coach, I mean, the clock's ticking. I mean, I could see them giving him another full season, but I mean, after that, I mean, if like this season and next season falls apart, they're going to be looking to move on. Okay, so OU gets that. Well, because then you had that. So they get the next one. He really throws a pick, but it gets called back because of a defensive penalty, which I don't even think was like a for real defensive penalty. And then they got a punt. Texas punts. Pow. 2 big plays. OU's right down there, and they score. So you're talking about 10-0. Texas gets the ball. So this is like first quarter. There's like 5 minutes left. And they can't run. They move the ball pretty good. They're throwing pretty good, but they cannot run like with their running backs. I mean, and that's another problem with this game. Like, you can come down here. I mean, look at this. 112 for Ellinger rushing. 23 attempts. And those are not, hardly any of that was designed runs. I mean, I don't know. Let's just say for whatever, 8 to 10 of those are design runs. So he's scrambling like 15 times, 13, 12 times. And here's your freaking running back situation. This is how you're running the ball. 32 yards with them, and then the -3, so 29 yards. I mean, that's like, for Texas to only, with their running backs, only rush for 29 yards is just pathetic. I mean, here's Pleasure. Pow, OU. 131. There you go. And then here's Rattler with 51. Okay. Then they got this guy with 43. I mean, that's 74 yards between 2 running backs. Texas. It's just a bunch of baloney. And this 30 for 53. Oh my God. Okay, whatever. So then Texas, they move the ball pretty good, but then he ends up getting sacked. They punt, and then they pinned him on the 4-yard line. Remember? 4-yard line? Okay. So then OU gets the ball, and he throws that pick that they ran back to like the 11-yard line. But, so then now you got a quarter change. We're in the second quarter. They moved into the field. I mean, if you think back, he threw that crazy pass like down the line of scrimmage that was, and it was just, then he gets sacked. Oh my God, bro. He gets sacked, remember? And it's like 3rd and 16 or 3rd and 19 or whatever it was. And on 3rd down, he runs up the middle and he's like 1 yard short. So it's going to be 4th and 1. And then somehow that offensive lineman commits a penalty. He pushed that guy in the back. And so you got to take it back. And, so it's just essentially the same thing. It's 4th and 16 now. And see, that's the moment. So then they got to kick that field goal. I really believe like they were running the ball, at least with Ellinger. They would have gone for it on 4th and 1 and could have got a touchdown there. See, these are the moments in the games. That guy committing that penalty, that offensive lineman committing that penalty. It's not a good thing. I don't know how else to say it. Hold on. Okay, so OU. So OU picked the ball off. I don't even remember that one. It's been too long. He should have been sacked. He flipped the ball up. And Texas, I think I kind of remember it. And Texas intercepted it. So dang, then Texas got the ball at the 19 of OU. They still couldn't run. Okay, and then there was a penalty in the end zone. 1st and goal. Ellinger run for a TD. So lame. I mean, that's good that you get in, but it's just... But that's fine. It was on the 2-yard line. Oh, and then that's when Rattler got benched for Mordecai for the rest of the half. With 11 minutes left. Wow. I mean, they were working on his shoulder, so I don't know if they would have done that. Like if he was maybe hurt, maybe wasn't hurt. Was it like what was it? I don't know if I ever like heard like a straight answer about that. They had that big run and they fumble. And then Texas got the ball on the 18. And then Texas goes 3-and-out. I guess after they got the fumble. See, that's terrible. And then Powell, they get the block punt. And they run it, it's short field big time. Because Texas is punting from like inside the 5. And then OU scored another touchdown. So you're still in the second quarter with 7 minutes left. And see, at this point, Ellinger is only 7-14 for 68 yards passing. That's just so garbage. I mean, Mordecai is already 5 for 6 for 52 yards. And he just came in the ball game. This is what I'm talking. Ellinger is such a phony. So Texas got the ball. I've got it written down here. Terrible pass on 2nd and 6. And he does good. They have a terrible pass to the end zone. I think I remember that. God. Then you get defensive pass interference. 1st and goal. Another rushing TD. Okay, so you're tied up. Yeah, that crazy good Rambo catch by OU on the next drive. We're down to like 2 minutes. QB fumble, 3rd and 21. Yeah, it's into half. I mean, there's really nothing worth talking about. Okay. Yeah, if my niece and nephew were around, I didn't take as good of notes on the second half. But, oh yeah, because there's no play-by-play for college. In the pros, there is play-by-play. So 3rd quarter. And you can look at 3rd quarter. So they scored twice. Oh, well, they shut them out. That's pretty good. Texas just pulls it. Oh my gosh. I can't remember how the second half went exactly. Like, what were the big plays? I mean, Ellinger, he was rushing. They couldn't run. Passing was all right. He made a couple decent throws. Rattler was back in. Let's see here. 4th quarter. Yeah, I remember those passes. They fought it pretty good. I mean, I don't know whenever all of OU's turnovers happened. Okay, so these are interceptions that you get. Sacks. What is that? 4 sacks, 5, 6 sacks. Well, those will be shared. So. Oh, there's tackles for loss. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, so Ingram, he had that first pass, or the first fumble, the very first play of the game. Yeah, and Rattler, Yeah, because he, like, one time he dropped that pass. I got to keep notes through the whole game, otherwise it doesn't make sense. But overtime got interesting. Because Texas scored, and then OU scored. And OU got the ball. And then they scored. What happened on that? Yeah, and then Texas scored, so it was 14 points, and that was all. And then it got into a field goal battle. What happened? What happened? God, my eyes got freaking dry all of a sudden, like stupid. And I don't want to get up. What happened in overtime on the Texas? Dang it. Field goal. Did it get blocked? Why didn't Texas score? I gotta find out. Yeah, see, I gotta take notes because I watch too many games. Let me see if this breaks it down. And blocked the field goal attempt. Okay, yeah, that's right. And then they settled, and that kid missed it. And I know, and people always, they'll be like, they'll act like it's the pros. I mean, they'll make that stuff in the pros. In college, it's just too much pressure. Pressure burst pipes. Those kids miss those field goals like a lot. Those really clutch field goals. I mean, they make them, but they miss their fair share. They miss their fair share, and I knew it. I'm like, man, he has not made this field goal yet. And sure enough, he didn't. Which would have got me where I wanted because I had OU at 3.5. They would have won by 3. I would have covered because I had Texas to cover, but I wanted Texas to lose because I'm so sick of Ellinger. And I'm getting to where I'm sick of that coach. I think he might be phony too. Is he phony? He's phony baloney. And then that just took the air out of him. It did, just whatever. I mean, what are you gonna say about it? Because you just went and scored like maybe on the first or second play in overtime, and then got the 2-point conversion. And then there's Texas, sitting there. I mean, look at that, 6 for 17 on third down. I mean, garbage. 27 first down, son. Well, all that overtime play. Net yards, rushing. I mean, all Ellinger. Penalty yards. There were some big penalties in this game. I mean, 11 of 101. I mean, 100 yards and penalties. I mean, that's just... Okay, so they got fumbles and fumbles lost. Okay. They only lost 2 of them. In time of possession, 23 to 36. I mean, that's... Oh, because there was that drive in the third quarter. I mean, OU chewed up clock big time getting that next touchdown. That second touchdown of the second half. To go up 14. I think that's how that went. I mean, it was like a 10-minute drive. Huge drive. That's exactly how that went. Yep. Yeah. 22 points in OT. God. And Texas can't play D to save their daggone life. I mean, just whatever. It's like, go sell it somewhere else. I'm not buying it. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know about anything else to like comment on. I'll try to do a little bit better. I'll take better notes. But yeah, just specific games. I won't be able to do every game like that. But like the big games, the ones I watch, I'm going to start taking notes. And just so you can remember how things happen. See, I mean, I broke down that first half. That was pretty good. So you can remember how the game goes down. You know, because there was some stuff that happened in that first half, like that fumble. You know, some short field misses, that block punt. You know, you get a short field, you only get a field goal, you don't capitalize on it. Stuff like that. Big interceptions being called back. And like penalty yards that don't necessarily show up in the game. Like if somebody makes a big run and then they get a holding penalty for 10 yards, but you really lost like 50 yards because you were. And you know, you can tell. I mean, like if the hold broke the play, then those yards may not necessarily count as much. But if the hold was way off the play, man, I mean, you know. But anyways, this is Clay with a Clay tablet breaking down the Texas OU game. Just get a little bit more depth. I'll do it for NFL, but I'm for sure going to do it with college because I just think that college gets left in the dust. By the time you get to Monday and all they want to do is talk about the Cowboys, and I mean, I'm all about the Cowboys, whatever, but not even that much. They don't talk enough NFL. They don't have enough diversity. And they just leave college in the dust. I mean, they might tap in for a second, but I'm going to start doing some college. So, hope you liked it.